Okay guys, so once we adjusted the picture, we want to start creating the worlds. Okay, I will show you the correct way in creating those 3D solids, so you don't have errors and you don't have then glitches in your model, because it helps a lot to work in the correct way, and I will show you later why. So again, we are in this mode. Keep the shift click, the middle mouse button, and we drag like this. Now we want to create the some lines. First, we want to do is create some reference lines. Those reference lines are very helpful. To create the reference lines, you have to have this tool on. So this is the tape measure tool. Again, T, yes. And be sure to have this plus minus, okay, there enabled. So control enables and disables it. The first one, if I go on the picture, you see it will lock to this line. Okay, if I go close to the line of the picture, which is good because I need just to start from somewhere. I click once, okay, the left mouse click, okay, I clicked once, and when I drag, you see it starts dragging a line. If you are not in the top view, this can flow somewhere. So that's why it's good to have it, the scene in the top view, because I can do it like this, and it can flow somewhere in space. It can go up and down and so on. But if I go again in the scenes and I can go on the top view, then I can be very precise. So I do my first guide, which is the axis that the construction, the architect did it when they did this plan, and I put it as close as possible to my dimension. The following steps won't have the same the same behavior. Please be careful, because we are not just dragging and putting on top of the points. We want to use the correct dimensions. So this means then I click and I drag, and when I drag, I just release, and instead of dragging and positioning, I type 2.3. You will see in the lower right corner that it's writing 2.3. I click enter, and it will create my second axis. Again, I have the next one at 4.8. Okay, again, click, drag a little bit just to give the directions you want to put your value, and I add 4.8. Okay, again, I'm here, I cannot see much. I close the scenes, but I keep shift middle mouse button and I drag it. Okay, and I go to the next one. Click, and I have the next one, 3.3. So probably this one, okay, I didn't put it correctly. Now I have it, 3.3. And the last one is 4.6, 4.6. Okay, so I have those horizontal axes. Okay, always give the mouse the shift click when you drag it, because otherwise you will rotate it. Okay, I just do it like this, and I jump in this, and then I will get angry because everything is upside down. But please don't get angry. Go to scenes and go to plan view, and you are back on track. So keep the shift click, drag it, zoom a little bit, and I want to create those axes, okay? The ones that are on the vertical plane. And I click here on a line, and I go and pick the first one. I have to pick somewhere, okay, as close as possible. The next ones, keeping the shift, you drag. The next ones, I go in this direction, and I am precise. I type 3.2. Again, shift, drag, and I tell the set 4.8. Okay, so those are my main axes. Now you see that some don't have, for example, here I don't have any reference, but I will show you how you handle this in a moment. So once we have our axis, we want to create the walls. So the walls are from the axis left and right, they are equal, right? This axis is central to the walls. Let's measure a wall and see what would be the optimum dimension that we want to do. So I prefer to go to, for example, for this example, with rounded values. So for example, let's consider the wall to be 0.2 meters, so 20 centimeters, okay? So this means that from the central axis, I have to go left and right by half, 0.1. So I go in this direction and I type 0.1. I go in this direction and I type 0.1, enter. I do the same for all of them, 0.1 for all my axes, 0.1. Again, it might be a little bit of waste of time, but it's precise and it will help you creating uh, the solid. So again, shift, drag, let's go to my next axis, 0.1, again 0.1, and so on. Okay, you do it, 0.1. Did we miss anything? Here 0.1, 0.1. Here we have a 0.1 in this direction and again a 0.1 in this direction. Okay, we don't have an axis here, but I will show you what to do immediately. So we have everything now covered. Perfect. Now, in order to do those we will, okay, we have one axis here, 0.1, 0.1, but for those ones we don't have. Okay, so this is how you create the main axis. Now, because we want to create the walls, we need some lines here. So again, for these ones, because the final thing that we want is the inner part. So we create the rooms and then we create the walls. We don't really need the central axis anymore, but we want to be close to some round values. Okay, so for example, I want to have, let's see, this room is this big. So from this wall to this, it will be approximately 4 meters. Okay, 4.02. So we type 4, enter. And then we have the inner surface of the wall, or the inner dimensions. We want to outside wall as well. So we know that the wall is 0.2. So we drag this 0.2. Okay. We do the same for all the walls that we do not have. Not the small ones, because this we will handle later, but the most important ones, like this one, for example. Okay, let's see here. We have the room. Let's measure it from this line to the inside is 0.3. 0.3. Looking around dimensions again. We drag this. The wall we know it's 0.2. So again, from here to here, it's 1.5, let's say, 1.5. And again, from here to here, 0.2. We have the wall. Then, let's say from here to here, we have again 1.5, 1.5, and again 0.2. So then we have those as well. Let's have a dimension from here to here, which is again 1.5. And we go like this, 0.2. Okay, and I kind of think we kind of have the dimensions of the walls. We are missing one here. So I clicked and it doesn't appear any line. I click escape and I click again on this and I drag it because it changed. Sometimes it changed the function, so it's 2.35. I don't know, 2.4. Let's approximate it to 2.4. And then again here 0.2, the thickness of the wall. So this is how you create the reference lines. Okay, we go plan view, zoom in, and this is where we are now.